Another Dooley Noted podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point. All right, and welcome into another edition of Another Dooley Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Meldon Law Gator Studios here at Steve Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where it was quite a party last night. Everybody was here. Evan was here. Tammy was here. Chris Doring was here. Spurrier was here. Everybody was here. And it was a lot of fun. It was great seeing everybody, especially it was very nice of Freddie and Coach Spurrier to invite a lot of the media in here. And we got a picture with the four guys that covered him during the first year in 1990. It was just a lot of fun. It was it felt like I was back in the media because we got free food and free beer. So, I mean, that's what we used to do in the media all the time. We got a great show for you today. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about was I gave Bianchi one. This is a long story, but I could save it for Pat Dooley's story time, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell real quick. He bid on this picture, this great picture, Carlos Alvarez. The picture was in Sports Illustrated, fingertip catch against FSU. And it was signed by Carlos, and he bid and he won it. But during the time between the tournaments, he didn't get it at the time. During the time between the tournaments, somehow I lost it. So I went about a plan of getting Carlos to sign a new one. It was actually bigger. Luckily, our great friend Karen over at Picture This, I know they have a new owner that we'll talk to her about doing some stuff, and I've been told she's all on board for Stop Children's Cancer as well. But anyway, she did it, and it's beautiful. And Carlos wrote a better inscription because he said to Mike, I think he said, the Cuban Comet, this is my best catch ever. And finally, last night, because Bianchi was in town for this, the one-year anniversary, I was able to deliver to him. So the tournament, the 2022 tournament has finally ended. It didn't end until late August or middle of August from a tournament that was April 30th. So, all right. So today, Ben Troupe is going to join us. Great tight end of Florida, motivational speaker, and does a great job with all the things he does. I know he's spoken to the quarterback club a few times, but I just love him. He's a great guy, and we'll have him on today. Of course, Monday, Coach Spurrier. We even talked about it a little bit last night. We got some more stories, so we'll save him for Monday. And then on next Friday, Carlos Alvarez coming back on the show. He's been on once before, having him on again. He has a lot to say about things. I mean, look, we can sit here and talk about his career forever, but he's got a lot of things to say about this year's team and also about NIL and all that everybody is dealing with. All right, it is time for our hand law starting lineup, which we do every day at this point. Of course, the starting lineup is presented by Hand Law, a Florida law firm which helps clients with government. You can learn more about Hand Law by visiting its website at www.hand.law. The firm is available for consultation in Jacksonville. We are going to get Chris on here some point during football season just to talk NIL and talk Gator football. The guy really knows a lot about Gator football and about all the stuff that we've been talking about. Let's go to the Hand Law starting lineup. Number one, this is why you know it's the official start of college football season. I keep giving you different official starts. It was SEC Media Days, which I said wasn't. Then it was because it was April 1st. Well, this is a start because ESPN, on that banner they have up there in the top, finally has moved NCAA football into that banner. Now it's the official start of college football season. You don't have to go looking for it. Man, what? It's right behind women's sport. It's right there. And, of course, as we know, everybody's excited about the season, and it's 3 weeks from tomorrow. Now, if you're listening to the show on Saturday, you go, no, it's 3 weeks from today. If you listen to the show on Sunday, you go, no, it's 3 weeks from yesterday. It's 3 weeks away before the mighty Gators take the field. But it's only 2 weeks from tomorrow until we actually have college football games on TV. we need that very badly. It has gotten a little bit. I call it, like Spurrier. I'm sure that I'm not going to be able to patent this one either. Spurrier's joked with me that he should have patented talking season. But there gets to a point where you're past talking season, and what I call it is jibber jabber season, where guys are just talking. They're talking about their favorite meals, and it's like they were breaking all these games down for so long. Now they can't break them down anymore, and they got nothing to talk about. Nobody's playing, so they just kind of go, hey, what was your favorite Star Wars movie? Stuff like that. I listen to all the shows going all the way down the line of the Sirius XM. Listen to Steve Russell too, of course. Steve was here last night. It was great to see him. But it is jibber jabber season. However, as we told you many times, there's no good news that comes out of a training camp in the fall. And so some bad news for Alabama. JoJo Earle's going to be out for a while with an injury. Obviously, I think we talked about this Monday. Sam Hartman, the Wake Forest quarterback, is out, and for unrelated, it's not an injury, it's something going on. And who knows? It could be anything. I'm not going to even speculate. And then, of course, the whole story with Ricky Pearsall. And apparently, that was the first taste, I think, for Coach Napier to get a taste of the media in Gainesville. It's not like the media in Alabama, and it's certainly not like the media in Lafayette. The media here is a little different. And these are all friends of mine, all people that work really hard, but they're tough. It's way tougher here. And he got pretty upset that people were reporting that Pearsall's injury was serious. And again, if you don't know, then you shouldn't report it. But here's the problem. We're all, and again, I'm not. I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about, whether people break stories on me anymore. That's not, if I can break one, great. Give it to me, I'll break it. But the bottom line is everybody's trying to break story. Everyone wants to be first. Everybody's got different websites. They want to get to it first. And sometimes you listen to a source that maybe is not a good source. It happened to me last August. Somebody told me something that I thought was a great source, and I wrote something on Twitter, just on Twitter. That's all. And next thing you know, Scott Strickland was tearing me up. So that happens. But no, jibber jabber season is in full force, and but we're getting closer. We're almost there, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about games, players, plays. All I can do is give you speculation right now. Number 2 is I love what Billy Napier's been doing about stressing the penalty issue with giving his players video evidence of their penalties, and then and not all their penalties, but the dumb ones, the ones that you shouldn't commit. And somebody asked me this the other day, what's the difference between a dumb penalty and a smart penalty? And, well, there's no smart penalties, but you're fighting a guy, you're hand fighting a guy in the secondary. That's not a dumb penalty. You hit a guy who's standing there by himself, that is a dumb penalty. You jump off sides, it's a dumb penalty. Illegal procedure is a dumb penalty. And those are the ones I think he's stressing. I like that. And also the tackles missed. I got to give G. Allen Taylor from The Athletic credit for this. This is a great stat. Florida missed 13 tackles a game last year. And look, I have been on and on and on about all the things they did wrong last year, but they missed 13 tackles a game. Georgia, by the way, missed 5.7. There's a reason why Georgia was way better than Florida. Also, Florida missed 3.6. After contact. They missed tackles after contact and let guys 3.6 yards. Am I making any sense? That was 126 in the country. We all understand why Florida wasn't very good. Maybe we should just stop giving you these stats. But until we have new stats, that's all we got. I'm going to give you that minus 311 in penalty differential until the day I die. Well, until first game, anyway. All right, number 3. I did want to talk about this. There is a different energy in the Gator Nation. I can sense it. I gave my first talk on Tuesday in Daytona. Place was packed. They were fired up. They were ready. And I know that with new coaches, that tends to happen. But I think they feel like we finally have a regular, normal human being as a coach. And the last three, and look, I love Will Muschamp to death. But Will's, they're not all tightened down there. Certainly with McElwain they weren't. And certainly with Dan Mullen, they were all, screws were all flying around. But the bottom line is this fan base is excited because they don't have to pick up go to their Twitter site and go, another recruit went. Yeah, they're not all coming here, guys. They're not all, but they're doing a better job. And I think people are fired up just to see something different more than anything. Number 4 on our hand law, of course, as we always do, the hand law starting lineup. The Heavener Complex opens on Sunday. Big deal for Florida. I think a bigger deal for next year's recruiting class than this year's, but it is opening up $85 million. I think the original price was $58 million. It obviously grew with all the things, COVID and supply chain, all that stuff. But they get in there on Sunday, and then it's not going to be 100. I think the media can't even tour it for a while because they got some things they got to bolt down. Kind of like, Urban Meyer's brain. You got to bolt some things down in there. But in the meantime, Georgia says we're going to spend $68 million on stadium renovations. And I'm like, well, that's what Florida wants to do next. Is that what? Boy, they spend 85. All right, that's why everybody wants to be in the SEC, because the more money you get, the better you can be, the more you can do, with renovations, the more cranes in the air. So we'll see where Florida goes with that. Finally, number 5 on the hand law starting lineup. Interesting story out of Lexington, because John Calipari told Kyle Tucker, I know Kyle very well, he's a really good writer for The Athletic, that, look, we need to get this practice facility going now. I don't want to wait around for it. I mean, I'm John Calipari. And, of course, they want to get a new one. They've had one for as long as Florida has, or longer than Florida has. But it needs to be renovated or a new one built. And he says, we're a basketball school. Everybody knows that. Here's what he said that really bothered me. And it bothered Mark Stoops. I know this. He goes, hey, I hope football wins 10 games. No. You hope football wins every game. You're being the reason I don't like John Calipari is things like this. I'm the only thing that matters. My poop doesn't stink, and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. And everybody's losing their minds because they're pointing out the football team never lost a game to St. Peter's. They never lost a game to a team named the Peacocks. I was wearing my St. Peter's t-shirt proudly the other day. Look, John, you don't have that much clout. Oh, you're bringing in great recruiting classes, putting guys in the pros. At some point, it is about winning championships. There have been a lot of years where you haven't done that. But anyway, you know me in Kentucky, but it's just an interesting story. All right, that'll do it for our hand law starting lineup. We always love our good friends at Hand Law. We got a lot of things to get to, but first we'll take a break, and then we'll come back, and we will be joined by Ben Troupe. Of course, you know Ben from his great career at the University of Florida, and then, of course, still a motivational speaker, does a lot of stuff. So we'll be back with him right after we take a break here on Another Dooley Noted podcast. Hello there, everybody. I'm Pat Dooley, of course, from Another Dooley Noted podcast. And this is a great Adam Brewer, and he's just opened up a place here, Adam Brewer To Go. What gave you the idea to do this, to have a to-go place?
We really like the fast concept, being able to get the barbecue. Now we have this new online ordering. So before it was a call ahead carry out, quick service. We have like a curbside kind of a deal where everything's ready to go for you. And then we thought, wow, we have a really great dine-in concept, but how can we make this streamlined for the customer and make it easy and accessible for all parts of town?
Adam's Rib Co. To Go. Come on down and enjoy it.
Great food, great atmosphere, a diverse menu, everything made from scratch, plenty of space, and locally owned. These are all the characteristics of a great restaurant, and you can find each and every one of them right here in Gainesville at Ballyhoo Grill. Ballyhoo Grill prepares all of their food fresh every day, from their salad dressing to their award-winning soups. Bring your family and enjoy dinner under the Tim Trebo Tiki Hut while listening to live music. Or if you're running low on time to eat out, they also deliver through Uber Eats, Bite Squad, and Postmates. A Gainesville staple that's been open for over 30 years. Check out Ballyhoo Grill on Facebook or at ballyhoogrill.com.
Another Duly Noted podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Celebration Point. You can watch and listen to us on Facebook and YouTube for every podcast that we do on Mondays and Fridays at 2 o'clock. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, any of the other 39 platforms where you can find this podcast or your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below or call me if you want to do some advertising at 352-317-3444.
Things have certainly got a little out of hand lately when it comes to just buying our everyday necessities. Just look at gas, streaming services, and heck, even chicken wings. Well, there is one necessity that shouldn't cost a ton: taking care of yourself and helping fix all the aches and pains in life, and the fine folks at Titan MRI agree. With costs a fraction of what you'd pay at a hospital, you'll not only save money, you'll be taken care of by staff with over 20 years experience. So when you need an MRI, call Titan first, and you can go where your doctors send their families. Now offering CAT scans.
Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
If you can smell the football coming this way, you know that one of the things that is a big part of any season is a membership in the Gainesville Quarterback Club. That includes both in-person meetings and Zoom experiences for out-of-town Gator fans. That gives you access to all the great speaker presentations, as well as tailgates and special occasions such as trips hosted by the Gator Nation's oldest Gator Club. Some of the speakers coming up include Scott Strickland, the athletic director at the University of Florida, David Cutcliffe, new Gator play-by-play man Sean Kelly, Dari Noka, Chris Doring, and Urban Meyer. Yeah, he's supposed to come. Email the club at membership@qbclub.org or call me, and I'll get you to the right people. You'll be glad you did. Pat Dooley's Storytime is brought to you by East Lake Pediatrics. Nobody knows how to provide pediatric health care for little Gators better than Dr. Mike and the other board-certified pediatricians and the pediatric nurse practitioners of East Lake Pediatrics. They have been providing personalized health care to the children of Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough counties since 2004. And with the recent addition of Dr. Chris, who is also board certified in sports medicine, they are now offering care for youth sports injuries as well. To learn more about East Lake Pediatrics, call 727-372-6760. And to get to know them better, listen to Dr. Mike and Dr. Carey on their Peds and Pop podcast on multiple platforms. All right, welcome back to another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. It is such a pleasure to be joined by one of the great Gators of all time, the great Ben Troupe, who joins us right now. Ben, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Pat. I mean, when I got the message, great Pat Dooley wanted me to come on. I was like, let me clear the schedule. Let me get right. Let me not at big time. I'm on with Pat Dooley, man. Life is going well for me.
I like that Braves hat. What? I'm hearing this in my head. Okay, we're good. I like that Braves hat you're wearing, though.
Of course. I mean, I only rock with the best. Obviously, going to Florida, I had to deal with these Georgia fans. But to you Yankees fans, Boston Red Sox fans, or you Mets fans, y'all know, I know y'all got the Grom and Scherzer, but until I see it, y'all are the little brother to the Yankees. And until proven otherwise, y'all take that. So I'm loving being a Braves fan these days.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year was unbelievable for me. I've been a Braves fan my whole life. Of course, Ben was an unbelievable tight end at the University of Florida, and now is motivational speaker. He's got his own podcast on radio. What you're doing everything. You. Why did you get involved in kind of the media side of this?
BJ Bennett, the guy who actually wrote my book for me. I know people say he co-wrote it. No, he wrote the whole thing, and I appreciate him doing that. But it's how the media got presented to me, Pat. Going when I was at Florida, I wasn't a journalism major. I wasn't a media guy, and it's how it got presented to me. Leaving the NFL, I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, I knew it was time for me to move on. I knew I had aspirations outside of sports, but like most people, I didn't plan. I didn't make a plan until I had to, and met this young man out of Brunswick, Georgia, named BJ Bennett. And when I met him, it's how I saw him doing radio, and I just liked what I saw. And him being a country boy like me, we could talk. And started coming on the show with him. Came on every Wednesday. I had my own part on the show called Troop Talk. And I did it. And this is from like 2010 to 2017. They were called Three and Out. It was Kevin, BJ, and Matt. Matt left to go do he went into his ministry, and BJ called me up. I had transitioned back to Georgia, and here we are. The speaking kind of happened in college through Ron Zook, getting the Shands Hospital visits, and I just leave myself open. It's a chance to stay around the game, chance to talk to the current crop of players, and no one told me that it was my job to make my life fun for the next, because the players that's coming behind me, if they don't see me having fun away from sports, they scared to death to walk away. So hopefully that's my job to tell them that, look, it's okay to become soccer dads, which I am, to just settle into being a, quote, regular person. And, hey, man, my job every day is not to turn into my dad. I do not tuck my shirts in when I go to check the mail, Pat. So if you see me walk around with my shirt tucked in, the evolution of my dad has fully happened. I am no longer Benjamin. I am a 39-year-old man that tucks his shirts in to go places where no one can see me.
Wow, that's great stuff. Hey, by the way, what was? I mean, we're here in Spurs Gridiron Grill right now. We were here last night for their 1-year anniversary, and obviously, you were recruited by Steve. What was it like for you? Where were you the moment you found out Steve was leaving?
Wow, I was actually Me and Kenny Parker was driving up. We driving up 75, and we had just won the Orange Bowl. He's congratulating the guys that's leaving, like the Alex Browns, the Lito Shepherds, and he's telling us, hey, to you underclassmen coming back, look forward to seeing you guys in the spring. And then I found out what the business of football was. We driving up, and cell phones look like what they are now, and we see breaking news: Steve Spurrier just signed with the Washington Redskins, 5 years, $25 million. And me and KP look at each other like, you did it. No, you did. What did you say to him? Like, we just saw him. And I will say this, Steve Spurrier, man, I'm just happy at the fact that he's the only coach I've ever had, from Zook to Jeff Fisher to John Gruden, Lane Kiffin. He's the only coach that ever called me Benny, because that's what my family called me. So, look, he gave me an opportunity to come to Florida, and he ain't even throw the ball to the tight end. That's how good of a recruiter he is. He got Taylor Jacobs and Risha Caldwell and Jabbar Gaffney. He didn't need me catching my little drag route. But I appreciate Coach Spurrier. Even being in the media now, he still recognizes me. And I wasn't a player to help his reputation one bit. But for him to still show me the love and respect he does, man, I'm forever grateful to that man. And as you see, you're in there in his grill right now. He's still, I don't know how old he is. I'm not going to say his age because I don't want to make him mad. He's a young, whatever he is, still making waves. So if anything, Coach Spurrier taught me how to reinvent yourself over and over and over again.
Why did you come here, though, from Georgia? I mean, being a Georgia guy.
Common sense. Spurrier was that dude. And Pat, look, nothing against Aaron Walker, nothing against Benny Wells and those guys, but I said, okay, there go Aaron Walker, Benny Wells. There go Jarvis Johnson, Ben Watson, and Brandon McMichael. I'm gonna go down here with these guys. I'm gonna just take my chance. But at the same time, too,
those are pretty good tight ends at Georgia.
Yeah, but at the same time, too, it was a chance to go away from home. My mother was a God-fearing woman. She said she saw gators in her dreams. I don't go against mama. I still went on all my visits, but I came on my visit to Florida. I'm sitting right beside Alex Brown, and I know who he is. I didn't have a clue in the world who Alex Brown. Well, he's sitting there playing the game with me, but I wouldn't change it. Most people say if you went back, what would you do? I would do it the same way because I didn't know. I knew what Florida was, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what the brand was. So I think it's the greatest decision I've made thus far as my athletic career. And I don't think my life, let alone my athletic career, would have been what it been. But Florida's the greatest, man. I know every time you go down there, they're putting up a new building. It don't even look recognizable anymore. But I'm happy to say I was blessed enough to spend 4 years in Gville.
Do you ever think about what it would have been like if you had NIL in your era?
I do, but I wasn't a money guy. So now make no mistake about it, Pat. I'll take the money. I'll take it. I'll take the money. But as you can see, I've been wearing Atlanta hats before. I would have did something with like New Era, or I would have tried to partner with. I'm a country boy, so I would have done something that I could help my family with. Maybe I partner with John Deere and I get a whole bunch because I'm at Florida. I don't need much. But I would have tried to do something that that once my playing days is over, I could still have the partnerships with them. But free 99 would have been me. I would have been that Ben get so many deals because you don't got to give him any money. This boy get anything because hey, my old teammates know $20 at Walmart. We used to go in there and rack up. Now Walmart is way bigger now, so I'm 18 to 22 year old, 18 to 22 years old, Pat. I didn't need much. They would have been so mad at me in the locker room. I would have said, just deliver it to the locker room so my teammates can see. I want them to see what I'm getting. But I would have definitely did my best to take advantage of it.
Zach Pillar told me once a story about how they used to go to, I think it was CJ's on, you could drink for 5 cents until you had to go to the bathroom. So they would wear diapers in there. I mean, did you ever do anything like that? Did you ever go that far?
Oh, I will.
For like one of those all-you-can-eat buffets when you were playing?
I'm going to tell you who would have hated me. Gators Dockside. I know they still doing it right now. Right? They would have hated me, right? They used to have, on Monday nights, they used to have the $10 all-you-can-eat wings, right? So I would go in. I would say, I need a table for like 20. And what happened is guys just coming in, asking for wings. So I get the tab. It'll say like $200. I'm like, no, ma'am. I got my bank account got $15 in it, ma'am. I'm paying for me, and the tip is gonna be very minimal. But I would have Guthrie's or Ballyhoo's or Old Time somebody TGI. Somebody would have been dealing with me. I'm a sweets guy, so I would have. They didn't have Cold Stone back then, but Cold Stone would have been like, hey, all the ice cream till I pop. So I would have done something locally. Gainesville bougie, man. They got Cheesecake Factory and everything. So I would have been.
Yeah, hey, man, I call it Chainsville now. I mean, it's just all chains, unfortunately, not a lot of local places. But I mean, I still love it here, but it is kind of different right now. Luckily, we have places like this and Ballyhoo, which we love very much, and Adam's Rib. So we've got a few of them out there, and Leonardo's. But it is like every city. You just get where it's Cheesecake Factory and P.F. Chang's, and they one after another. They just keep coming in.
That's what happened, Pat. It's growing. I mean, on the other side of 75 to the right, where Spurs and everything is, there was nothing over there when I was in school. It was just. Now it's a little oasis. They got Dave and Buster's. I said, my goodness.
There's a hell house down here, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, people fake act like they eating healthy at Whole Foods. Y'all ain't even eating that food in there, man. Stop that line. Y'all ain't eating that food in there. But hey, I'm happy for Gainesville. It was a long time coming. I love to see the fact that the city is growing.
Look, when you came to Florida, and obviously Coach Zook took over, and he utilized you. Maybe not enough, to be honest with you, but he used you a lot. How did the game change when you went from Coach Spurrier to Coach Zook?
My responsibility changed. I had tremendous responsibility, but I was one of the guys when I was with Spurrier. I was one of the guys when I was with Zook, and it took me it took me 4 years to understand what it. I was always told either be a star, player, or be a star in your role. So I was a star in my role for 3 years, and I had to become a star player, not necessarily ability-wise. I had an 18-year-old quarterback. So when Zook comes to me and tells me, you got to protect him, because I don't know what it's like to be a starter at quarterback in the SEC. I definitely don't know what it's like going to Death Valley as a starter at 18. So I had to understand that I had to know what I was doing in a way to where guys couldn't cover me. Not that they weren't incredible players, but there was Chris Lee told me, Ben, if I see flashes of 8-4, I'm throwing it to you. And he meant that literally. That boy, if he saw it, he threw me a pass against South Carolina. And to this day, when he throws it, right, I'm thinking, who is he throwing it to? Like, I see the ball. I said, who is he throwing it to? And then I go, he's throwing that to me. And I realized he said, I don't trust nobody more than you out here. Ben, I trust you out here. And that's developed. That's something that takes development. So I was so happy when all those guys in 06, a lot of those guys that got recruited by, they got recruited by Zook, won a national championship. I ain't taking it away from Urban. He won it. I ain't taking it away from him. But
I think it was 21 out of 22 starters were
absolutely.
Were
so
by Zook.
when I see the type of player that Dallas Baker became, and Chris Leak and Andre Caldwell, I'm happy for those guys. And the fact that we didn't know that they used to watch us after practice. Like, we used to do stuff after practice, but that's natural for us. Those guys were like, dude, y'all boys showed us how to prepare. Y'all boys showed, but the greatest thing is they said, y'all showed us how to be great teammates, because everybody want to be a great player. So I listen, Ron, I always say that Steve Spurrier was the coach I chose. Ron Zook was the coach I needed. I needed that dude. Couldn't stand him when I had him as a coach because he was so demanding, but I know I do not become the player I become without him.
Ben Troupe, of course, Gator Great on the Big Mills Cheesesteak Zoom line, and we appreciate Big Mills, of course, street dining done right. We've got a picture here we're going to put up here for you, and I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. And it's a picture of you jumping over an Ole Miss defender, and a picture of Anthony Richardson jumping over the guy at FAU. We want to know who wore it better, you or Anthony Richardson?
It's definitely Anthony Richardson, because I did it out of fear, and to him, he's just athletic. Me, I'm thinking to myself, dude, and look, the jumping over the people is this. I'm only jumping over people. Jumping over people that got their head bowed. So I'm looking at their eyes, and when they duck their head to say a prayer, I'm taking flight. And it happens really quickly. I saw that somebody put a side by side with me and him when he first did it. And I will say this, to know that happened in 2003 and 2021, that's when he did it. Hey, I've had a chance to speak to Anthony Richardson. My son has actually met him in person at the freaking Manning passing camp or academy or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, is he a quarterback?
Yeah, he is. Right now he is. Right now he is. But he's already complaining about his offensive line. I'm like, well, son, I don't know if they're gonna get any better at this point. We'll see. But no, I will say this. I never thought that anything I did on the field would be synonymous with like anything prevalent. And I said, look, I wasn't jumping over people to make highlights. I'm trying to survive, man. That stuff happened fast out there. So, but to get compared to the freak known as Anthony Richardson, hey man, I'll take that in stride. And whenever I do meet him, I'm gonna say, listen, man, my son says hi. Since y'all have already met, y'all have already got acquainted. This is my first time meeting you. But I appreciate those times though.
All right, before we play a little game called Yes, No, Where, Maybe. I'll get to that in a point, but the one thing I wanted to ask you about is what point in your life when you're growing up and you're getting bigger and bigger are you trying to figure out what kind of body am I going to have? Is it going to be tight end, defensive end, or you may have wanted to be a quarterback?
Wow, I didn't even know what a tight end was. Until I became one, because my freshman year of high school, I was like 5'9", 5'10", and I didn't play football because I got an older brother that made me think that high school was just the hardest thing ever. So my sophomore year over summer, I went from like 5'10", 5'9" to like 6'2", 6'3" over a summer. So my growth spurt made it so that I outgrew the receiver position. So when they told me I was a tight end, I was like, okay, I had no clue what that was. I know what a running back is, quarterback is, receiver, fullback. Tight end, what's that? But my father's like 6'2", 240, 250. So he's a nice sized guy. So I was gonna be a big guy. My mom is like 5'8". So when my talent didn't catch up to my height, I was a late bloomer. But once I understood what tight ends did, I loved it. And once I understood, okay, I don't got to be a great blocker, I got to be an efficient blocker. But in the passing game, I could be, oh man, you could be a threat. So I learned to embrace the role, and like I said, Pat, in a place like Augusta, Georgia, to where we got 14 high schools, and my high school is not the prestigious one. We are the homecoming high school. People want to play us every Friday if they could. We love to play Butler. I just embraced what I could control, and I had a great head coach in David Land. And back when they had the Florida Georgia High School All-Star Game, when I got invited to it, I met Ronnie Brown, I met Max Stark, I met Reed Fleming, I met a bunch of my teammates, Travis Harris and Kelvin Kite. I realized that as the quicker I embrace my role at tight end, the better I'm gonna be. Because I went to Georgia camp, and he's supposed to be an offensive player in a defensive position. They kept me at tight end the whole time. They wouldn't let me go with the DNs. I heard a coach say, if he gets hurt, you're gonna get in a lot of trouble. I heard a coach tell another coach, and that's when I didn't realize how big recruiting is. So, hey man, to know that the University of Georgia feels as though I'm one of the ones that got away. It's easy to say that after the fact. They wait on to see what type of player you become. Oh, he got away. But if you don't become anything, oh yeah, they could take him any day of the week. I enjoy the tight end position now. It's grown so much. It's a position that guys really want to play now in high school. But hey, I enjoyed it, and I wouldn't have picked a better position to play. I think tight ends affect the game so much without catching the ball, and they get to catch the ball. So hey, I don't like that. I ain't with that fullback stuff. They can keep that. I ain't coming out the backfield blocking linebackers. Now I'm not that type of tight end. That ain't what I do. Thank God they didn't have me doing that too many plays.
Well, you got 14 high schools. You got one really good golf course there, okay? And I have played it, just so you know, once, but that'll be it. All right, it is time for our great friend Ben Troupe to play our game, Yes, No, Where, Maybe, brought to you by Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you go in there and tell them you listen to Another Dooley Noted podcast, you get free fries with your order. Just remember that when you're here, Ben, next time. Yes, No, Where, Maybe. So these are simple questions. Georgia is in the college football playoff again this year. Yes, no, where, maybe.
Maybe. I would say maybe because, when you look at what they bring, 15 guys to the draft, they're bringing back a lot on offense, not that much on defense, but it's going to be hard to keep them out. So I would definitely say maybe.
All right. I've been kind of in the same boat with them. They got a really soft schedule. Oregon's not going to be anything tough for them, and they play Mississippi State and Auburn from the other side. So, I think they'll get to that point where if they can just win that championship game, they'll be able to do it. Number 2 on Yes, No, Where, Maybe. Ben Troupe was a great blocker.
What is it? Nowhere. What's the second thing?
Yes, no, where, maybe.
No way in hell. Great and blocking me in the same sentence. No. I was a disruptor. I got in somebody's way long enough for the quarterback to throw it or the running back to hit the hole. My greatest blocking day ever was the opening play against Arkansas. Cedric Faison made me look like a great blocker because he took it 70, but he also broke a tackle. So I had a little bit to do with it.
Did you not like to block, or was it?
I did. Once I understood what I was doing, like the way they taught me was they had me blocking the same way D lineman. They told me you gotta use your long arms, and then somebody told me no, blocking ain't nothing but jacking somebody up. You block with people in here. And
right.
Once I realized, okay, you jacking people up. Oh, okay. I never became great at it. I'm not Aaron Kinney, and I played with Aaron Kinney. Bad enough, I can't block.
Is he the best blocking tight end?
Oh my God, it ain't even a question. Aaron Kinney. I call Aaron Kinney like a what you call people, like a hostess, people that take you to go. He'll say, hey, listen, it don't matter where you want to go. I'm taking you over here, and that's it. I talk trash, but I'm on the backside. Oh yeah, we about to do you, but that great blocking stuff, I'll never be associated with that. Never ever in life.
Yeah, you and I discussed this, I think, last year about the order of the best tight ends at Florida. And obviously Kyle Pitts being drafted where he was, and Aaron Hernandez being what he was, but it'd be hard to put you any lower than 3rd on that list. I will say that.
I would say this: when I think about tight ends at the University of Florida, I never saw Kirk Kilpatrick, obviously, and this is just me. I'm regardless of if you like him or didn't like him, as far as what he did away from football, I think the best tight end ever came through Florida was Aaron Hernandez, because at the end of the day, you can do anything with him. You can just put him in the back.
Yeah,
if he played running back in Florida, I think he would have still got drafted. Kyle Pitts is a unicorn. I believe that, yes. But as far as like before their time and doing stuff, because how do you stand out on an offense like that? Percy Harvin, Tim Tebow, he still stood out, right? So for me, love Kyle Pitts. Love Aaron Kinney. Love, you know what I'm saying, Cornelius Ingram. You know, love Trey Burton and, you know, Jordan Reed. They ain't better than Aaron Hernandez, man. That boy there was – and like I said, you know,
and people could look. We all know the crap that happened. We all know that. Okay, but the bottom line is he still played, and we watched the games, and everybody cheered for him. I have a picture of my daughter with Aaron Hernandez that it's kind of a joke now to look at it and go, holy crap! But that's how big a deal he was. That's how good a player he was. All right, finally on Yes, No Way, or Maybe for you. Florida has a tight end who is all SEC this year. Yes, no way, or maybe?
I say maybe. I know about Keon. I know about Dante. I know Nick. I know he been dealing with injury some, and I know about Jay Odom. I think that they have to understand in an offense like they're in, to where you don't – I know they got Shorter and, you know, Whitmore, because there isn't a definite number one. Anybody could be in the passing game. And the thing about – the thing about being an all-SEC performer, that means you are very, very consistent. That you don't have,
and your team has to be good too.
Absolutely,
they're going to vote for you if your team's no good.
Absolutely. It's almost like making sure that your team is playing well and you're playing well with them. You don't want to be a great performer on a bad team because it looks like you're just padding stats, and that's not so. And I think it's time. I mean, as long as you stop saying things like, "Man, I saw Kyle Pitts." Yeah, you saw it, but don't try to emulate that. That's not. What you got the hardest thing to do for a player is to find what you do well. What is your niche? What do you do within an offense that means they're going to call plays for you? Listen, number 84, that the recent number 84, that boy there, that's any player for any offense. You can do anything with him. Good Lord. I mean, did he have 4 touchdowns against Ole Miss like 2020?
Yeah.
That's a season. And he had 14.
Hey, if they retire his jersey, then it would be retiring your jersey too, right? I mean,
hey, listen, I'm gonna be at the ceremony, and I'm gonna be the one introducing them. Like, listen, we ain't never met. I got to here in 2000. He was born in 2000. Give it up for my long lost brother from Philadelphia.
All right, before we let you go, is there anything you need to plug? Any podcasts or radio shows or anything like that?
I always go to at Pigskin Radio. Myself, BJ Bennett, Kevin Thomas at 3 and Out on at Pigskin Radio. Go to bentroop84.com. My book is still available, Uncommon and Unfinished. Make sure you guys are listening to 84 Reasons, my podcast on Gators Collective.
Yep.
I'm sitting down talking with current Gators, future Gators, and just be on the lookout for me. I'm just out here enjoying life, Pat. Just doing what I know how to do. Haven't had a chance to come to Spurriers yet. Hey, man, I already trying to chase this dude. Now he got a freaking restaurant. I'm not getting a restaurant, Coach. Jesus, I'm not getting no restaurant, man. But congratulations, man. Congratulations.
If you come down here, you got to get those ribs we had last night. They were unbelievable. So it was really good. It's a great place. You'll love it when you get down here. I know you will. Ben Troupe, one of the greatest skaters to ever play, one of my favorite players to ever play at the University of Florida. We enjoyed your time, and thank you so much for joining us on the Big Zoom hotline. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Pat. Appreciate it.
All right, Ben, we got to get a break. We'll come back with more of Another Duly Noted podcast. We're a little behind, but I love talking to Ben too much, so I had to keep going. We got a lot of things to get to, and we'll do that when we come back on Another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. Hello there, everybody. I'm Pat Dooley, of course, from Another Duly Noted podcast. This is a great Adam Brewer, and he's just opened up a place here, Adam Brewer To Go. What would give you the idea to do this, to have a to-go place like this?
We really like the fast concept, being able to get the barbecue. Now we have this new online ordering. So before it was a call ahead carry out, quick service. We have like a curbside kind of a deal where, everything's ready to go for you. And then we thought, wow, we have a really great dine-in concept, but how can we make this streamlined for the customer and make it easy and accessible for all parts of town?
Adam's Rib Co. To Go. Come on down and enjoy it.
Great food, great atmosphere, a diverse menu, everything made from scratch, plenty of space, and locally owned. These are all the characteristics of a great restaurant, and you can find each and every one of them right here in Gainesville at Ballyhoo Grill. Ballyhoo Grill prepares all of their food fresh every day, from their salad dressing to their award-winning soups. Bring your family and enjoy dinner under the Tim Trebo Tiki Hut while listening to live music. Or if you're running low on time to eat out, they also deliver through Uber Eats, Bite Squad, and Postmates. A Gainesville staple that's been open for over 30 years. Check out Ballyhoo Grill on Facebook or at ballyhoogrill.com.
Another Dooley Noted podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point. You can watch and listen to us on Facebook and YouTube for every podcast that we do on Mondays and Fridays at 2 o'clock. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, any of the other 39 platforms where you can find this podcast or your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below or call me if you want to do some advertising at 352-317-3444.
Things have certainly got a little out of hand lately when it comes to just buying our everyday necessities. Just look at gas, streaming services, and heck, even chicken wings. Well, there is one necessity that shouldn't cost a ton: taking care of yourself and helping fix all the aches and pains in life, and the fine folks at Titan MRI agree. With costs a fraction of what you'd pay at a hospital, you'll not only save money, you'll be taken care of by staff with over 20 years experience. So when you need an MRI, call Titan first, and you can go where your doctors send their families. Now offering CAT scans.
Albert, Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
If you can smell the football coming this way, you know that one of the things that is a big part of any season is a membership in the Gainesville Quarterback Club. That includes both in-person meetings and Zoom experiences for out-of-town Gator fans. That gives you access to all the great speaker presentations, as well as tailgates and special occasions such as trips hosted by the Gator Nation's oldest Gator Club. Some of the speakers coming up include Scott Strickland, the athletic director at the University of Florida, David Cutcliffe, new Gator play-by-play man Sean Kelly, Dari Noka, Chris Doring, and Urban Meyer. Yeah, he's supposed to come. Email the club at membership@qbclub.org or call me and I'll get you to the right people. You'll be glad you did. Pat Dooley's Storytime is brought to you by East Lake Pediatrics. Nobody knows how to provide pediatric health care for little Gators better than Dr. Mike and the other board-certified pediatricians and the pediatric nurse practitioners of East Lake Pediatrics. They have been providing personalized health care to the children of Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough counties since 2004. And with the recent addition of Dr. Chris, who is also board certified in sports medicine, they are now offering care for youth sports injuries as well. To learn more about East Lake Pediatrics, call 727-372-6760. And to get to know them better, listen to Dr. Mike and Dr. Carey on their Peds and Pop podcast on multiple platforms. I did that on purpose, Tammy. I waited until you were right at 1 to drink that. All right, we've got a lot of things to get to, and we'll try to get to them quickly as possible, although we certainly don't want to breeze by our great sponsors. Our sponsors are unbelievable. They've been doing an unbelievable job, and we appreciate them so much. Let us get, though, to the three things sponsored by Hesser and Kipke. And, of course, Three Things, as always, is brought to you by Hesser and Kipke, a law firm based in Hale Plantation, specializing in employment, workers' comp, and family law. Visit their website at www.hkfl, or visit their website at www.hklawfl.com, or call Ken and Jennifer at 352-339-9920. Ken and I were Ken texted me at like 6:30 this morning. Luckily, I wasn't awake. I didn't have my phone on, so I didn't see it. It was about, I can't remember what it was about. Anyway, I like Ken. He's a really good guy. We still have not physically met, and we text all the time. Isn't that weird? Is that the world we live in, where you think you know somebody and you haven't met them yet? Yeah, well, that's the way it is. Hopefully we'll meet soon. All right, let us go to number one on Hesser and Kipke's three things. Aaron Judge is going nuts, and it's really kind of created this weird dilemma for baseball people who care about baseball and write about it. If he keeps going and breaks Roger Maris's record of 61, do you consider that the new baseball record? Now, obviously, people have more. They were all in the steroid era. They were doing steroids. They've admitted to it, or their head blew up so big it was like blotting out the sun. Bonds had 73, but I don't count that as a record myself. Maybe he could hit 74. I don't think he can get to 74, but it's pretty amazing to see what he's doing because now, again, I assume he's not on any kind of steroids because I think they test now. But he's got a shot at getting to 62. And would that be emotional? Because 61, when Mark McGwire passed the record, it was a very emotional for me because I know the Maris family and love the Maris family. They'd allowed me to talk to the mom, Pat Maris, when nobody else was able to have access. I always appreciate those guys. Big donators for the golf tournament. I love them. But that 62, I would recognize the 62 as the all-time home run record. That's me. Not everybody would. Number two, the latest lawsuit on the LIV, the lawyer blurted out, well, a lot of these contracts that these guys are signing, your what you make in the tournament counts against them. And they had denied this for all this time. They go, oh, well, our lawyer said it, though, so now it must be true. And then, like, the whole deal with Cameron Smith, who I like, seems like a good guy. And I'm trying not to be a jerk about this. I'm just not a fan of what's going on here. But today, I think it was, in the because they're playing the FedEx Cup, and Cameron Smith supposedly is going to join the LIV Tour when this is over. He's denied it. But the bottom line is, today Scheffler walked right in his line, right across in front of him in his line. That says a lot about how ugly this could get. I hope it does. That'll be fun if golfers are like stepping on other golfers' balls. I mean, it'll be what we always do when we play golf, right? So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on this. Number three on Hesser and Kipke's three things, Bill Russell's jersey has been retired permanently. The guys who are wearing it are grandfathered in. LeBron, I think, wears 6, right? A couple other players do. Great gesture, and to me, a no-brainer a little bit. I mean, this guy won what did he win, 10 or 11 world championships. One of the great ambassadors of the game. A big Bill Russell fan. So I think this is great that the NBA is doing this, saying we're going to shut it down. I think the only jerseys that have been retired in sports are Gretzky, Jackie Robinson, and now it'll be Bill Russell. So that's a pretty good list to be on. That is our Hesser and Kipke three things. Let's get to our Leonardo's at Millhopper Quick Picks. Just went by there the other day, and actually on Wednesday. That would have been 2 days ago. And got some more gift certificates so people can win at Leonardo's Quick Picks, qualify. We got a bunch of people who qualify by picking the Patriots the other night. And it'll be actually, you know what? I did not check on the score of that game. I was watching it, and I kind of went away from it. I got to go back and look. I got to add everything up. I kind of wait, and I kind of catch up. But our Leonardo's Quick Picks for today, and again, all we really can go by right now is the NFL preseason games. So we're just going to give you one easy one. The Vikings at the Raiders. Raiders by 2.5. They're the favorites. Pick one or the other. It's just you're flipping a coin. And you can qualify. George Luttrell, who won our last one, I sent it off today. It'll be coming to you. Your $25 at Leonardo's and a couple other little things I threw in there. So that'll be cool. And we appreciate Kyle Cohen at Leonardo's. He'll actually be on the radio show with us again today. We love having them on there as well. So thanks to Leonardo's at Millhopper for their quick picks. Let's go to the Adams Ripco to go. Gator of the Week. It is. And I'm sure that this is going to be the highest honor she's ever gotten. Gator of the Week from me is Sophie Watts, who in her first game ever, her first shot ever for Florida soccer team, scored a goal. That's pretty good. Not a lot of people can say that. Most people, like second, third, maybe eighth, maybe 10th, maybe never score a goal. She scored on her first shot ever against UNF. They won that game 2-0. And congratulations, Sophie. If you want me to, I will buy you a Diet Coke. I can do that. That's about all I can do. Yeah. So we should do that. We should have some award that you actually get for being the Gator of the weekend or week. In this case, week. Don't forget, Friday they play Tampa at home. Their last exhibition game, Friday's today. So it's today. They play at home. And then their first game is August 18th at UCF. Volleyball, by the way, August 20th. I'm going to always remind you of this. August 20th at Jackson and playing Jacksonville. I actually would love to get a sponsor for this. I can do it very cheap. Where we just talk about all the other sports because we get so football centric, and you know how that happens. And it's okay. It's allowed. All right, it is time for Pat Dooley's story time. We're kind of running a little low on time, but we appreciate East Lake Pediatrics for bringing us Pat Dooley's story time every Monday and every Friday. I'm going to tell you a quick one here, and that is about the Hilton Hotel in Knoxville, Tennessee. The Hilton Hotel in Knoxville, Tennessee is where the team stayed, and for a long time, we stayed there. We stayed wherever the team stayed. There was a point where I thought we were going to get kicked out because John Hoke said he couldn't sleep because we were making so much noise in the hotel bar. But it wasn't just us. There were other people there from the athletics administration. But then this one day I'm out for a walk because there's a great walking area you could do by the airport there at the Knoxville Hilton. And as I'm walking back in, Urban Meyer and Dan Mullen are standing there, and the team's having their team breakfast. And I walk by, I go, "Hey, guys, how you doing?" And they looked at me like they couldn't believe that a media person was near their team. Guess what? Next year, not allowed in the media hotel. Every once in a while, we'd sneak in, but we had a great rate. So that's my story time. Although there's two great stories about that Hilton that I can't tell. There's some words that I can't use in them. It's funny, though. Pull me aside someday, and we'll do it, okay? So that's Pat Dooley's story time, the Hilton. It's a great hotel. I love that hotel. It's great. But we can't get in there now. I think the team still does stay there, actually, right there at the airport. Finally, This, That, and the Other is brought to you by, as always, Ballyhoo Grill, where Karen went last night while I was out at the other thing. So she went there last night and had a great time. And of course, by Ironwood Golf Course and by Dar Shakow Insurance. We appreciate all of our great sponsors. This is that Barrett Salee came out, a good friend. We need to get Barrett on the show. I haven't had him on in a while. Came out with a list of who would win a fight between all the SEC coaches, and he ranked them. Who would win? His first three were Brian Harsin, maybe because he's mad because he almost got fired. Clark Lee, who seems pretty fit, and Mark Stoops, who I think would just go bulldog on you, just bite you and stuff. You had no chance against him. That is that Billy Napier was fifth on the list, and I don't see that. I don't see a guy that I would be afraid to fight Billy Napier. I like him as a coach. I like him as a person from everything I've been able to. But and again, maybe it's because he wears a lot of baggy, soft shirts. Maybe that's why. But he was actually ahead of Beamer. Beamer, I would be afraid of. Beamer would be a guy that I would be afraid would just like cut my Achilles tendon with a knife. So, no, I would have put Beamer ahead of him. And the other on This, That, and the Other is the last three. Saban, yeah, I could take Saban. He's a million years old. Okay, I think I could take him. Although he's probably in way better shape than I am. Brian Kelly, I don't even know what's going on there. I think I could take him too. And then finally, Mike Leach. I know I could take him, but I like Mike Leach, but he is not working too much on his fitness. We all know that. All right, that is going to do it for this, that, and the other, which means it's going to do it for another duly noted podcast. We call it a podcast. Again, we had a great 2 days here between last night and today, and we appreciate Tammy for doing a wonderful job, and of course Evan for helping her out. We'll be back Monday with Coach Spurrier, and then Friday Carlos Alvarez. Man, got to ramp it up the guests because we're almost there. We are 2 weeks away from the first games, 3 weeks away from the first Gator game. I can't wait to talk about actual games. Until then, I am Pat Dooley. I am deep, I am way back, and I am out of here.